This is the story of Percy Jackson, a boy who spends most of his life feeling like the rules were written for everyone else. A boy who learns that the strange things he notices are not mistakes. They are clues. Everything that happens tonight follows the events of the book Percy Jackson. And the Olympians, the lightning thief. I will tell it in calm, clear language, so you can follow along easily. Section 1, Yancey Academy, and the day the world blinked. Percy Jackson is 12 years old, and by the time this story begins, he has learned one thing very well. School is hard. Not hard in the way a difficult math problem is hard. Hard in the way it feels when you are always one step behind the rest of the room. Hard in the way it feels when teachers look at you like you are trying to fail on purpose. He has been kicked out of a lot of schools, not because he wants trouble. Trouble just seems to find him. Sometimes he says the wrong thing. Sometimes he reacts too fast. Sometimes, when his mind is racing and the classroom feels too small, he makes choices he wishes he could take back. This year he is at Yancey Academy. It is a private boarding school for kids who have had problems in other places. Percy fits in there, which is not the same thing as feeling at home. It is more like being surrounded by other people who also do not fit. Percy has 2 diagnoses that follow him around like labels on a folder: ADHD and dyslexia. His teachers treat those words like excuses. But for Percy, they are simply part of how his brain works. Letters can slip and twist. Lines of text can blur. Instructions can feel like a swarm of bees. He can focus intensely on the wrong thing and miss what he is supposed to see. Even so, Percy loves stories. He loves myths. He loves the idea that the world might be larger than it looks. At Yancey Academy, Percy's favorite class is Latin. His Latin teacher is Mr. Brunner. Mr. Brunner is older, and he uses a wheelchair. He has a calm voice and a way of making ancient words feel alive. He talks about the gods and heroes of Greece like they are not just names, but real forces in the world. Mr. Brunner also carries a pen, a plain-looking pen. Percy has seen it often enough that he barely notices it. Percy's closest friend at Yancey is Grover Underwood. Grover is shy and anxious, the kind of kid who apologizes when someone bumps into him. He worries about Percy more than Percy thinks is normal for a friend. It is like Grover is always listening for something, like he expects a bad thing to happen at any moment. One bright day in spring, the 6th grade goes on a field trip to New York City. They take a bus to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. It is supposed to be educational. It is supposed to be calm. The museum is cool and quiet inside, like stepping into shade after walking in the sun. The floors are polished. Footsteps echo. The air smells faintly of stone and old wood, and the clean scent of a place that is carefully kept. The students drift in clusters. They whisper and laugh and complain. A few teachers try to keep order. Percy wants to do well. He really does. He does not want to be the kid who ruins another trip. But there is a girl named Nancy Bobofit. Nancy is the kind of kid who knows how to make other kids feel small. She picks on Grover. She says mean things. She gets the other kids laughing. Percy tries to ignore it. Then Nancy pushes Grover. Grover stumbles. Percy's chest tightens. He tells Nancy to stop. She smirks. She keeps going. Then something strange happens. Percy does not mean to do it. He does not even fully understand how it happens. But suddenly, Nancy is falling backward into the museum fountain. There is a splash. There are shouts. Nancy comes up sputtering, furious. Percy stands there with his hands at his sides. For a second, he is not sure if he pushed her. He does not remember moving. He just remembers the rush of anger. And then the water. One of the chaperones, Mrs. Dodds, marches toward him. Mrs. Dodds is Percy's pre-algebra teacher. She is small and sharp, and she always seems to have it out for him. She grabs Percy by the arm. Her nails dig in. Her eyes are dark and intense. She hisses at him to come with her. She pulls him away from the crowd. She drags him through a hallway toward a side room. Percy expects to be scolded. He expects detention. He expects the usual. But when they enter the room, the air changes. The light feels wrong. The space seems to tighten. Mrs. Dodds turns toward him. Her face shifts. Her features sharpen. Her eyes burn with a kind of anger that does not belong to an ordinary teacher. Percy realizes, with a cold jolt, that he is in danger. Not the danger of getting in trouble. A different danger. A danger that makes his instincts scream. Mrs. Dodds tells him he has angered the gods. Her voice is not quite human. Percy does not understand what she means. Then suddenly, Mr. Brunner is there. Or at least Percy sees him at the doorway. Mr. Brunner calls out. His voice is urgent. He tosses Percy his pen. It is just a pen. Except when Percy catches it, the pen becomes a sword. A bronze sword, warm in his hand, balanced like it belongs there. Mrs. Dodds lunges. Percy moves without thinking. His body reacts faster than his mind. He swings the sword. There is a flash, like a burst of dust and wind. Mrs. Dodds is gone. Not fallen, not unconscious. Gone, as if she was never there. Percy stands in the silent room, sword in hand, heart pounding. Then the sword becomes a pen again. Mr. Brunner looks at him like Percy has just passed an important test. He tells Percy to put the pen in his pocket. He speaks calmly, as if nothing extraordinary happened. Percy staggers out of the room. He returns to the museum floor. The students are still there. The teachers are still there. But when Percy asks about Mrs. Dodds, nobody knows what he is talking about. No one remembers her. Not the kids. Not the other teachers. Not even Grover. Grover insists that Percy's pre-algebra teacher is someone else. A different woman. A woman Percy has never seen. Percy tries to argue. He tries to explain. But the more he talks, the more everyone looks at him like he is confused, like he is imagining things. He begins to doubt himself. Maybe he did imagine it. Maybe it was a panic attack. Maybe he is losing it. But the memory of Mrs. Dodds is too sharp. The way she changed, the way the room felt, the way the sword fit his hand. Later, back at school, Percy cannot stop thinking about it. He watches Mr. Brunner in class. Mr. Brunner seems normal. He lectures about myth. He smiles. He assigns a paper. But Percy notices small things. A look that lingers. A pause, as if Mr. Brunner is weighing what to say. Grover is acting strangely too. Grover looks at Percy with fear and Grover seems like he wants to say something, but cannot. One afternoon, Percy overhears Grover talking to Mr. Brunner. Grover sounds nervous. He says Percy is being targeted. He says something about the mist. He says something about monsters. Percy cannot make sense of it. Before he can get close enough to hear more, Grover notices him and stops. Mr. Brunner notices him too. Mr. Brunner's expression is serious. For the rest of the year, Percy tries to keep his head down. He tries not to get kicked out. He tries to stay out of trouble. But trouble keeps brushing past him like shadows. Sometimes, in the corner of his eye, Percy thinks he sees something move that should not move. A face that looks too sharp. A shape that looks too large. Then it is gone. He tells himself it is stress. He tells himself he is tired. He tells himself he is imagining things. But deep down, Percy knows the world is not as normal as it pretends to be. Near the end of the school year, something else happens. Percy sees 3 old women sitting together, knitting. They are outside. They look like they do not belong on campus. They stare at Percy. One of them cuts a piece of yarn. Percy gets the unsettling feeling that they have just cut something more important than thread. When Percy blinks, they are gone. Not long after, Percy is accused of causing trouble again. A fight breaks out. Things go wrong. Percy's history teacher, Mr. Brunner, looks disappointed. Percy is told he will not be returning to Yancey Academy. He is being expelled. Again, Percy feels the familiar weight of failure. He thinks about his mom. He thinks about how hard she works. He thinks about how she never blames him. He wants to go home. Section 2. Home, blue food, and the storm on the road to Montauk. Percy's home is in New York City, not a quiet suburb, a small apartment, a place where the sounds of the city seep through windows and walls. His mother is Sally Jackson. Sally is kind. She listens. She believes Percy when other people do not. When Percy walks through the door after being expelled, she looks sad, but she does not look surprised. She hugs him. She tells him it will be okay. Percy's stepfather is Gabe Ugliano. Gabe is unpleasant. He is loud. He is the kind of person who takes up all the air in a room. Percy does not like him. Gabe does not like Percy. Sally keeps the peace as best she can. She shields Percy from the worst of it. She tries to keep their home from feeling like a trap. Sally has a tradition with Percy. She makes him blue food, blue candy, blue frosting, blue cookies, blue pancakes. It is silly and comforting. It is a reminder that even if the world is messy, they can make something bright and strange and their own. When Percy is home, he sleeps better. Not perfectly, but better. Still, the strange feelings follow him. He has dreams. In his dreams, he is in a dark place. He hears a deep voice. He feels the weight of something ancient. Sometimes, he sees a large figure in a pit, as if someone enormous is trapped below. He wakes sweating. He cannot remember all of it, but he remembers the feeling of being watched. Sally notices Percy is on edge. She suggests they take a trip, a small vacation, somewhere familiar. They go to Montauk, to a cabin by the ocean, a place where Sally and Percy have gone before, a place where the air smells of salt and the horizon looks wide and open. Gabe complains. He does not want Sally to take the car. He does not want to lose control. But Sally persuades him. She makes it sound like he is doing her a favor. She makes it sound like it is no big deal. So Percy and Sally drive away. The city fades behind them. The road stretches ahead. The farther they go, the lighter Percy feels, as if the sky is larger, as if the world is breathing. At Montauk, the cabin is simple. Wooden walls, old furniture, a porch, the sound of waves. Sally seems happier there. Percy sees it in the way she moves, the way she looks at the water, the way she smiles. They talk, they eat, they walk along the beach. Percy feels the cool water around his ankles. He watches foam slide over the sand. He listens to gulls. For a little while, it feels like the world is normal. Then Grover shows up. Percy is surprised. Grover is supposed to be at school. Grover looks frantic. He looks like he ran a long way. He is soaking wet. Grover tries to talk to Sally. He pulls her aside. Percy sees them whispering. Sally's face tightens. She looks worried. When Percy asks what is happening, they try to brush it off. They say Grover was worried about Percy. They say it is fine. But Percy can feel the tension, like the air before a storm. That night, the storm actually comes. The sky darkens. Wind picks up. Rain rattles the cabin. The waves slam harder against the shore. Percy has a dream. He sees a horse made of water. He sees lightning. He hears the deep voice again. It is angry. It is patient. It is waiting. Percy wakes. He goes outside. The wind is strong. The rain is cold. He sees the ocean churning. Sally comes out too. She looks serious. She tells Percy they have to leave. Now, Percy argues. He does not want to drive in the storm. Sally insists. She looks frightened, not of the weather, of something else. They pack quickly. Grover helps. Grover is shaking. They get in the car. Sally drives. Percy sits in the passenger seat. Grover sits in the back. The windshield wipers slap back and forth. The road is slick. The headlights catch sheets of rain. As they drive, Sally finally starts to tell Percy the truth. Not all of it, but enough. She tells him there are things in the world he does not understand. She tells him that his father is not like other fathers. She tells him that Percy has been protected, but that protection is failing. Percy is confused. He asks what she means. Sally tries to explain gently. Then up ahead, in the glare of the headlights, something huge appears. A shape on the road. Large, massive, like a bull, but not a normal bull. Sally swerves. The car skids. They crash into something. The world jolts. Percy's ears ring. His chest tightens. He hears Grover yelling. Outside in the storm, the creature moves. It is a minotaur, a monster from myth, a bull-headed man, bigger than any human, powerful. Percy's mind refuses to accept it at first. Then it is there, real and terrifying. Sally tells Percy to run. She points toward a hill, a place where faint lights glow through the rain. Grover tries to get out. He falls. Percy pulls him up. The Minotaur charges. The ground shakes. Percy runs. Sally runs behind him. Rain pours down. Mud pulls at their shoes. The Minotaur catches up. It reaches out. Its hand closes around Sally. Sally looks at Percy. She does not scream. Her eyes are steady. She says Percy has to go. Then she turns into golden light. She disappears. Percy's mind snaps. Grief and rage surge together. He turns back. He faces the Minotaur. Grover tries to stop him. Percy does not listen. The Minotaur lunges. Percy dodges. He grabs one of the monster's horns. The horn is slick with rain. Percy hangs on. The Minotaur throws him. Percy hits the ground. Pain shoots through him. But Percy gets up. He moves on instinct. He catches the horn again. He twists. He uses the monster's momentum. With a desperate effort, Percy breaks the horn. The Minotaur roars. Percy drives the broken horn into the monster. The Minotaur collapses. It dissolves. The storm keeps howling. Percy stands there shaking. He looks for his mother. There is only rain. He feels his strength drain away. He staggers. Then he falls. As his vision blurs, he sees the lights on the hill. He sees a large pine tree. He sees a boundary, like a shimmer in the air. He sees someone running toward him, a girl with curly hair. Then everything goes dark. Section 3. Camp Half-Blood and Learning What You Are. Percy wakes up in a bed. The sheets smell clean. Sunlight spills through a window. He hears birds. He hears distant laughter. For a moment, he thinks he is dreaming. Then he remembers the Minotaur. He remembers his mother turning to light. He sits up fast. His head aches. A girl is sitting nearby. She has gray eyes and curly hair. She looks like she has been watching him for a long time. She introduces herself as Annabeth Chase. She tells Percy he has been asleep for days. Percy tries to stand. Annabeth tells him to rest. Percy asks where he is. Annabeth says he is at Camp Half-Blood. The words mean nothing to Percy, but Annabeth says them like they should mean everything. Soon, a man enters the room. He looks familiar. Percy realizes it is Mr. Brunner. Except Mr. Brunner is standing. He is not in his wheelchair. Percy's mind spins. Mr. Brunner smiles gently. He introduces himself differently. He says his name is Chiron. Chiron speaks calmly. He says Percy is safe. He says Percy is in a place for people like him. Percy asks about his mother. Chiron's face grows serious. He says they will talk. He says Percy needs time. Percy wants answers. He wants them now, but he is exhausted. When Percy is stronger, Annabeth takes him outside. Camp Half-Blood is in a valley. Green hills, tall pine trees, cabins in a row, each one different. A big house on a hill, an open-air dining pavilion, a training arena. The air smells of pine and grass. It feels like summer. It feels like the world is brighter here. Annabeth explains that the camp is for demigods, children of the Greek gods and human parents. Percy laughs at first. It sounds ridiculous. Then he remembers Mrs. Dodds. He remembers the Minotaur. He stops laughing. Annabeth tells Percy that the world is full of monsters. Most people do not see them. A force called the mist hides the truth, but demigods can see through it. That is why demigods are in danger. Monsters can sense them. Monsters hunt them. Percy thinks about Grover. Grover was there in the storm. Grover was screaming. Grover looked different. Annabeth tells Percy that Grover is not a human boy. Grover is a satyr, a nature spirit, a protector. Percy does not want to believe it, but he has already seen too much. Annabeth brings Percy to the big house. Inside, the air is cool. There are old paintings and trophies. There is the smell of polished wood. Percy meets Grover again. Grover is nervous. He looks guilty. He admits the truth. He shows Percy his legs. Instead of human legs, Grover has goat legs. Percy stares. Grover says he was assigned to protect Percy. He says he failed. He says he should have gotten Percy to camp sooner. Percy's anger flares. Then grief swallows it. He thinks about Sally. He thinks about the golden light. Percy demands answers. Why him? Why now? What is happening? Annabeth and Grover bring Percy to meet the camp director. The director is a man in a Hawaiian shirt. He lounges like someone who does not care about anything. He has a cup that smells like something sweet. He introduces himself as Dionysus. Mr. D, a god. He says he is stuck running the camp as punishment. He complains. He gets Percy's name wrong. He calls him Peter Johnson. Percy is stunned. A god is sitting in front of him, acting like a bored adult stuck at a job. Chiron is there too. Chiron is patient. He is kind. He is serious. Percy learns basic rules. He learns that the camp is protected. A magical boundary keeps most monsters out. One of the strongest parts of that protection is a pine tree on the hill. Thalia's tree. Percy does not yet know who Thalia was, only that her tree matters. Percy is assigned to a cabin. At camp, each god has a cabin for their children. Kids with known divine parents stay in their god's cabin. Kids with unknown parents stay in a cabin called Hermes, where unclaimed demigods wait. Percy does not know his father. Sally never told him. She only hinted. So Percy goes to the Hermes cabin. It is crowded. It is loud. It feels like a place full of restless energy. A boy named Luke welcomes him. Luke is older, friendly. He smiles like he has learned how to make new kids feel safer. Luke tells Percy that camp can be rough at first, but it helps. It teaches you to survive. Percy begins training. At first, he is terrible. He is clumsy. He is frustrated. Other campers laugh. Some are cruel. There is a group from the Ares cabin. Children of Ares, the god of war. They are tough. They like picking fights. A girl named Clarice leads them. She is strong and loud and proud. She does not like Percy. One day, Clarice and her friends catch Percy near the bathrooms. They decide to bully him. They shove him. They threaten him. Percy's anger rises. Then the water in the toilet surges. It bursts out. It splashes Clarice and her friends. They are soaked. They are shocked. Percy is shocked too. He did not do it on purpose. But somehow, the water answered him. Annabeth watches this happen. Her eyes narrow with curiosity. As the days pass, Percy learns about the camp routines. Meals at the pavilion. Campers offering part of their food to the gods. The smell of smoke from the central fire. The taste of nectar and ambrosia, which heal. Campfires at night. Stories. Songs. The sound of crickets. Percy finds moments of peace. Then he remembers his mother. The grief returns. Annabeth tells Percy she has been at camp for years. She says she has been waiting for someone. She does not explain fully, but Percy senses she believes Percy is important. Then comes the game. Capture the flag. The campers gather in the woods. Teams split. Cabins ally. Rules are explained. Percy is assigned to join a team. He is nervous. He feels out of place, but he wants to prove he belongs. In the woods, the air is cooler. Leaves rustle. The ground is soft with needles and dirt. The game begins. There is running. There is shouting. There are swords and shields. Clarice and her friends find Percy. They corner him. They want payback. Percy backs toward a creek. He can feel the water beside him. Clarice attacks. Percy raises his sword. His sword is riptide. The pen from Mr. Brunner. It has been given to him at camp. It turns into a bronze blade when uncapped. It returns to Percy's pocket if he loses it. Percy is still learning. Clarice is experienced. She disarms him. She draws blood. Percy feels pain. Then Percy stumbles into the creek. The water touches his wound. Something changes. The pain fades. The cut closes. Percy feels strength rushing into him. He stands. He moves faster. He fights better. Annabeth sees it. She shouts for him to get out of the water. But Percy is already moving. He drives Clarice back. He forces her to retreat. Her friends pull her away. Percy is breathing hard. He looks down at the creek. He realizes the water healed him. Then in the sky above his head, a symbol appears. A trident, a three-pronged spear. It glows. It is bright. It hovers like a sign. The campers freeze. They stare. They whisper. Chiron steps forward. His face is grave. He announces what it means. Percy has been claimed. His father is Poseidon, god of the sea, one of the big three. The reaction is immediate. Fear, unease. Percy does not understand at first. Then he remembers the water, the toilet incident, the creek healing, the sense of power near the ocean. Percy feels dizzy. His father is a god, a powerful god, and now everyone knows. That night, Percy lies in his bunk. The camp sounds drift around him. He listens to wind in the trees. He thinks about his mother. He thinks about Poseidon. He thinks about the storm. He falls asleep. He dreams again. He sees a dark pit. He hears the deep voice. He feels something enormous shifting. When he wakes, the morning feels different, as if the world has moved one step closer to something. Section 4. The Oracle, the Prophecy, and the beginning of the quest. After Percy is claimed, the camp changes around him. Some campers avoid him. Some stare. Some whisper. Annabeth looks excited. She looks like she has been waiting for this. Chiron calls Percy to the big house. He explains more. Poseidon is one of the big three. Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, the most powerful of the Olympian gods. Long ago, the big three agreed to stop having children with mortals. Their children are too powerful. They attract too much danger. They shake the balance. But Percy exists, so the agreement was broken, and that makes Percy significant. Percy asks about his mother. Chiron tells him something that hurts and comforts at the same time. Sally is not dead in the way Percy fears. When the Minotaur took her, she was pulled into the realm of the gods. There may be a way to bring her back, but it is not simple. Percy wants to go after her right away. Chiron warns him. The world is unstable. The gods are on the edge of war. Then Percy learns why. Zeus's master bolt is missing, the weapon that symbolizes Zeus's power. The bolt has been stolen. Zeus believes Poseidon took it. Poseidon denies it, but accusations have already hardened. The gods are angry. They are proud. They are old. They do not handle distrust gently. To make it worse, another item is missing: the helm of darkness belonging to Hades. If Zeus thinks Poseidon stole the bolt, and Hades thinks someone stole his helm, the situation becomes dangerous. A war among the gods would not be contained. It would spill into the mortal world. Storms, earthquakes, chaos. Percy, newly claimed as Poseidon's son, becomes the center of attention. If Zeus is already angry at Poseidon, Percy could be seen as a threat. Chiron speaks carefully. He says Percy may be asked to take a quest. Annabeth is eager. She wants a quest more than anything. She has been at camp, waiting for her chance. Grover is anxious. He fears what is coming, but he also feels responsible for Percy. Before any quest can begin, Percy must consult the oracle. The oracle is kept in the attic of the big house. It is not a friendly thing. It is old. It holds prophecies. Chiron leads Percy upstairs. The attic smells of dust and forgotten boxes. Sunlight slants through cracks. The oracle appears as a mummified figure in a cracked chair. It wears an old dress. Its eyes are dark. Percy feels cold. He feels the hairs on his arms rise. When Percy approaches, the oracle stirs. It inhales. A green mist pours out. The mist swirls. The oracle's voice is not like a normal voice. It is heavy and distant. It speaks the prophecy. Percy hears words about a half-blood child, about going west, about finding what was stolen, about failing to save what matters most, about a friend who will betray him. The words settle into Percy's mind like stones. He does not like them. He does not fully understand them, but he feels their weight. When it is over, Percy staggers back. He leaves the attic shaken. Chiron meets him downstairs. Annabeth and Grover are waiting. Percy tells them the prophecy. Annabeth's eyes shine. Grover looks sick with worry. Soon after, Percy is summoned again, this time by the camp leadership. Chiron explains the quest. Someone has stolen Zeus's master bolt. Someone has stolen Hades's helm. The thief is trying to spark war. Percy is accused indirectly. The gods are suspicious. The bolt could have been placed on Percy. Percy could be used, but Percy did not do it. He knows that. The camp decides Percy must go on a quest. He must retrieve the master bolt. He must return it to Zeus. He must do it before the summer solstice deadline. The deadline is close. If the bolt is not returned, Zeus will act. Percy agrees, not because he wants glory, because he believes saving the bolt may save his mother, and because he cannot stand the idea of a war that could destroy everything. Annabeth volunteers to go. She argues her case. She has the experience. She has the knowledge. She has the determination. Grover is assigned to go as well. Grover is a satyr. He knows the roads. He can sense nature. He can serve as guide. Percy feels a mix of fear and relief. He will not be alone. Before leaving, Percy spends time with Luke. Luke teaches him sword basics. Luke shows him how to hold a shield. Luke helps him practice. Luke also talks about the gods. He talks about their flaws. He talks about how they use their children. He smiles, but Percy senses bitterness underneath. Luke gives Percy a pair of shoes. They are special. They have wings. They belong to Hermes. Luke says they will help Percy. Percy accepts them, grateful. He does not yet understand how dangerous gifts can be. Percy also receives other supplies: a backpack, money, a map, food, advice. Chiron gives Percy Riptide officially, a celestial bronze sword that only harms monsters and immortals, not mortals. Annabeth has her own gear: a knife, supplies, and something she keeps hidden. Grover has his reed pipes. The night before leaving, Percy walks near the cabins. He looks at the Poseidon cabin. It is a simple building by the shore. It feels empty, like it has been waiting. Percy stands there. He listens to water. He thinks about a father he has never met. He thinks about the way the camp reacted to his claim. He thinks about the prophecy. He goes to sleep with a knot in his stomach. In the morning, the three of them leave. They cross the boundary of the camp. The air changes. The protection fades behind them. The road ahead is wide. The world looks normal again. But Percy knows better. Section 5. On the road, the first monsters, and the truth hiding in plain sight. The quest begins with travel that feels ordinary. A bus station, people hurrying, luggage wheels clicking, the smell of snacks and exhaust. Percy tries to act normal. Annabeth seems comfortable in a way Percy is not. She watches everything. She notices exits. She notices faces. Grover stays close. He is nervous. He keeps his eyes moving. They buy tickets. They board a bus. They find seats. The bus hums. It pulls away. Percy looks out the window. New York slides by. Then the suburbs. Then stretches of road. For a little while, Percy relaxes. He listens to the engine. He watches clouds. Then he feels it. That prickling sense. That feeling of being watched. At a stop, 3 women board the bus. They are dressed oddly. They look severe. They take seats. Their eyes seem to lock on Percy. Percy's stomach tightens. Annabeth whispers to Percy to stay calm. Grover looks pale. The bus continues. The air feels heavier. The women seem to shift in their seats. Their faces look sharp. Their movements are too quick. Percy realizes these are the same kind of creatures as Mrs. Dodd's. Furies, spirits of punishment. One of them approaches. She leans close. She speaks in a low voice. She demands something. She demands that Percy hand over what he stole. Percy is confused. He did not steal anything. At least, he thinks he did not. The Fury's eyes blaze. Annabeth acts quickly. She tells Percy to get ready. Grover fumbles for something. Chaos breaks out. People scream. The bus driver loses control. The bus swerves. The world lurches. Percy and his friends are thrown into motion. They fight. Percy uses riptide. He swings. The fury shrieks. The bus crashes. Glass breaks. Metal groans. The mortals around them see something else. They see a normal accident. They do not see monsters. The mist bends their perception. In the confusion, Percy and his friends escape. They stumble onto the roadside. They catch their breath. They are alive. But now they are on foot. Their trip has been derailed, and the monsters know where they are. They walk. They find a place to rest. They are hungry. They are tired. Along the road, they spot a small shop, a strange place with statues, a sign that seems harmless. It calls itself something ordinary, a roadside garden shop, a place that sells lawn statues. Annabeth is suspicious. She tells Percy and Grover that the mist can hide danger. She says their enemies can disguise themselves, but they need food. They need shelter. They decide to approach. Inside, the shop feels too quiet. The air is still. Statues stand everywhere. People in frozen poses. A man holding a newspaper. A woman clutching a purse. A child reaching out. The statues look too real. A woman greets them. She wears sunglasses. She speaks kindly. She offers them food. She calls herself Auntie M. Percy does not trust her. Annabeth and Grover exchange looks. Then Percy notices something. The woman's voice. The way she moves. The faint shimmer around her. Annabeth realizes it too. She whispers the name. Medusa. In the myths, Medusa is a monster. A woman with snakes for hair. A gaze that turns people to stone. Here, she hides behind sunglasses. She offers hospitality. She speaks like a wounded person who wants sympathy. She says she was wronged. She says heroes always come to kill her. Percy feels torn. She sounds almost reasonable, but the statues around them tell the truth. Medusa tries to charm them. She offers them safety. She offers them power. She says she can help. Percy refuses. A fight breaks out. It is fast. It is frightening. But Percy keeps his head. He avoids her gaze. Annabeth and Grover help. They use reflections. They use quick movement. They keep their eyes away. In the end, Percy strikes. Medusa is defeated. Her form dissolves. But what remains is something they can carry. The head. It is grim. It is strange. It is not something Percy ever imagined doing. They wrap it carefully. They pack it away. They leave quickly. Outside, the world looks normal again. But Percy feels older than he did that morning. They find a way to send the head away, to a place where it cannot harm them. Annabeth suggests sending it to Olympus, a message to the gods, a warning that Percy is not helpless. They ship it. They move on. As they travel, the quest begins to settle into their bones. They are 3 kids crossing a huge country. They are hunted. They are rushed by a deadline. At night, they rest where they can, in small places, in corners, in quiet stretches where the world feels wide. Percy dreams again. He sees the dark pit. He hears that deep voice. He senses the presence of something ancient. He senses anger and patience. He hears words about a thief, about betrayal, about a war. He wakes with his heart beating. Annabeth is awake too, sometimes. She watches the horizon. Grover mutters in his sleep. They keep going. They reach St. Louis. The city feels humid. The streets are busy. The air smells like river and concrete and food carts. They see the gateway arch. It rises like a curve of metal against the sky. It is massive. It looks like a doorway. Annabeth is fascinated. She loves architecture. She wants to see it up close. Percy agrees. They go inside. The arch has its own quiet. A museum below. Elevators that feel like capsules. Visitors speaking softly. Percy feels uneasy. A familiar sense returns. That prickling feeling. On the observation deck, the world looks far below. The Mississippi River winds through the city. The water glints. Percy feels drawn to it. Then Percy notices someone. A woman. A presence. She feels wrong. Echidna appears. In myth, she is called the mother of monsters. She looks ordinary enough at first, but her eyes are ancient. Her smile is too knowing. She speaks to Percy. She speaks about gods and children. She speaks as if Percy is part of a long pattern. Then she reveals what she brought. A chimera, a creature made of different beasts. Dangerous, relentless, the chimera attacks. Percy's friends try to help. The space is tight. People panic. The mist twists what they see. Percy is trapped. He feels heat. He feels smoke. He feels claws and teeth too close. There is no safe path. There is only one direction Percy can go. Down, toward the river. Percy runs. He pushes through doors. He reaches the edge. Wind whips around him. Below, the river looks impossibly far. Percy hesitates. Then he hears the chimera. He feels the monster closing in. Percy trusts the one thing that has never hurt him. Water. He jumps. The fall is long. The air roars. The city blurs. Then the river catches him. Cold and deep. Percy expects pain. He expects death. Instead, the water holds him. It cushions him. It pulls him down and then lifts him. Percy bursts back to the surface, gasping. He is alive. He is not broken. He clings to the edge. He finds a way out. He crawls onto land, soaked, shaking. He looks up at the arch. He thinks of Annabeth and Grover. He hopes they escaped. Percy's body is tired, but he feels a strange comfort too. The river is like a hand on his back, a reminder, a promise. Percy stumbles away into the city. He tries to find his friends. He tries to get his bearings. The quest continues, and the world is only getting bigger. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the Lightning Thief. Sleep Story Script Part 2. Section 6. The River's Voice and the Road to Denver. When Percy hits the Mississippi, he expects the water to be brutal. He expects his body to slam into something solid. He expects his breath to be knocked out of him. But the river does something else. It opens. It accepts him. It folds around him like cool cloth. The noise of the city becomes distant. The rush of fear in Percy's chest slows, not because he is suddenly brave, but because the water is quiet. Quiet in a way that feels ancient. Percy realizes he can still breathe. Not in the way you hold your breath. Not in the way you gasp. He simply breathes, as if the river has decided that air and water are not so different. His leg aches where the chimera bit him, but the pain is muted. The blood has already stopped. He looks down at the wound, and sees that it is not as bad as it should be. He drifts lower. Light filters down in pale green ribbons. The riverbed is a soft blur. Then Percy sees it. A glint. His pen, riptide. It lies a few feet away, resting as if it has been waiting. Percy swims toward it. The water helps, pushing him gently forward. He grabs the pen. It is warm, familiar. It feels like a promise he can hold. A voice speaks to him. It is not loud. It is not harsh. It is like a thought that does not belong to him. A water spirit appears, a woman made of river light. Her hair moves like weeds in a current. Her eyes are calm. She tells Percy that his father believes in him. She tells Percy he must go to Santa Monica, not later, before he tries to enter the underworld. She also warns him, do not trust gifts. Percy thinks of the prophecy. He thinks of the words about betrayal. He thinks of the winged shoes Luke gave him. He thinks of other gifts at camp. The spirit tells him something else. His mother's fate is not hopeless. The words hit Percy like a wave. Not hopeless. Not hopeless means there is still a way. It does not say the way will be easy. It only says Percy should not stop believing. Then the spirit is gone. The river feels empty again, except for the steady push of current. Percy swims. He rises. He breaks the surface. The air is loud again. The sky is bright. He hears sirens. He hears people shouting. Below the gateway arch, news vans and police cars gather. People point up. They talk about an explosion. They talk about a boy who jumped. Percy stays close to the edge. He keeps his head down. He climbs out where no one is watching. He limps through damp grass and slips behind a row of vehicles. He looks for Annabeth and Grover. He finds them among the crowd. They are shaken. Annabeth's face is tight with worry. Grover looks like he has been holding his breath for 10 minutes. When they see Percy alive, it is like a knot loosens. Annabeth grabs his arm. Grover makes a sound that is half laugh and half sob. Percy tells them what happened. He tells them about the chimera. He tells them about the river. He tells them about the water spirit. He tells them the warning. Do not trust gifts. Annabeth listens carefully. When Percy says Santa Monica, she nods as if it confirms something. She says that is where they can get what they need. They can go there first. Then they can go to the underworld entrance in Lowe's Angels. Grover glances around. He whispers that they cannot stay. Percy's face is on the news. His name is being called. They are calling him a fugitive. They say his mother is missing. They say he is responsible. The mist covers monsters. It does not cover media. Annabeth spots someone starring. A police officer looks their way. The three of them move. They slip through the crowd. They head for the train station. They run in short bursts, trying not to look like they are running. They keep their heads down. They blend with commuters. They buy tickets with what money they have. They board a train. They find seats. The doors close. The train begins to move. Only then does Percy allow himself to breathe. The steady clack of wheels on tracks becomes a rhythm, a sound he can lean on. As the land rolls by, Percy remembers other parts of the journey. The way it began, with the smell of food in the woods, the curio shop, the statues, the truth behind Auntie M. The way Percy used a reflection to get close. The way he swung riptide. The way the world returned to normal too quickly afterward. Percy remembers taking money from Medusa's office. He remembers seeing a shipping paper. It listed the underworld's address, DOA Recording Studios. Percy remembers the feeling of sending Medusa's head away. A strange kind of message. Not to boast, to say, I am here. I am not helpless. He remembers resting in the woods, hearing Grover talk about Pan, the god of wild places, hearing the longing in Grover's voice, the way Grover says satyrs have been searching for Pan for a very long time, the way Grover says many do not return. He remembers waking the next morning and meeting a pink poodle, Gladiola, a dog that seems entirely out of place in the wilderness. He remembers how the dog tags gave an address, how they returned Gladiola to her owner, how they got a reward, how the reward became train tickets. He remembers how, on the train, the newspapers showed his face. Wanted. They called him dangerous. They called him a runaway. They tried to build a story that made sense to mortals. Percy remembers trying to keep his cap low, trying to breathe, trying not to panic. Now on another train, the same fear returns. It is always there, the sense that any moment, a stranger might look too long and recognize him. Annabeth studies a map. She traces routes with her finger. She whispers plans. She speaks like someone who has been hungry for a quest her whole life. Grover watches the windows. He listens. He flinches when a door slides open. Percy sits between them, holding two kinds of weight. The weight of the quest and the weight of his mother. That night on the train, Percy sleeps lightly. He dreams. In the dream, he stands at the edge of a pit. The pit is huge. It is deeper than darkness. It is stormy, like a hurricane trapped underground. A voice speaks from below. A voice like rock grinding. A voice like time. It calls Percy by name. It promises power. It promises revenge. Percy tries to bargain. He says he will do anything if his mother is safe. The voice laughs softly. It says Percy is already part of the game. It says the gods are fools. Percy wakes with his heart racing. He looks at Annabeth. She is asleep, but her brow is furrowed. He looks at Grover. Grover mutters, restless. The train keeps moving. When they reach Denver, the air feels different. Drier, higher. The sky seems wider. They find a place to sit. They gather themselves. They need to contact camp. They need information. They need guidance. Annabeth suggests iris messaging, a way to send a message through the rainbow goddess. They find a place where sunlight hits water, a fountain, a mist. They take out a drachma, a gold coin. They toss it in. Annabeth speaks the words. O Iris, accept my offering. A rainbow shimmers. A window forms. Camp appears in the colors. Percy expects Chiron, but Luke's face appears instead. Luke looks relieved to see them. Then his expression tightens. Percy tells Luke what happened. Medusa, the chimera, the river spirit, the warning, Santa Monica. Luke listens. He asks questions. He seems helpful. He seems like a friend. Percy asks about Hades. He wonders aloud if Hades stole the master bolt during the winter solstice. He wonders if the helm of darkness made it possible. Luke says it is possible. He talks about God stealing. He talks about the way the underworld works. Percy feels uneasy, not because Luke says anything wrong, because the prophecy sits in Percy's mind like a thorn. You shall be betrayed by one who calls you a friend. Percy does not want to believe it. He pushes it away. They end the message. The rainbow fades. The fountain returns to being just water. Now they need food. They need a place to think. They go to a diner, a simple place. Booths, coffee, the smell of frying oil, the hum of a television. They sit, they order. Then the door opens, and the air shifts. A man walks in who looks like trouble made human. Leather jacket, hard eyes, a presence that makes the room feel smaller. Annabeth stiffens. Grover's face goes pale. The man smiles. It is not a warm smile. It is a smile like a knife. He sits at their booth as if it belongs to him. He introduces himself. Ares, the god of war. Percy's mind struggles to catch up. Ares, Clarice's father, the god whose children like to start fights. Ares looks at Percy with amusement. He talks like Percy is already a piece on his board. Ares says he knows about the quest. He says he knows about the bolt. He says he can help. Then he offers a deal. He wants Percy and his friends to retrieve something for him. Ares' shield. He says he lost it in a place called the Tunnel of Love. At a water park, Ares says he was there with his girlfriend. He does not say her name at first. He only says it with a kind of pride. Percy and Annabeth realize who it must be. Aphrodite, goddess of love. Ares says that if Percy gets the shield, Ares will provide information. He will help them continue west. He will tell Percy about his mother. Percy does not trust him, but Percy is desperate. They agree. Section 7, Hephaestus's trap and the price of being watched. The water park is called Waterland. It is a place built for noise and laughter. But when Percy and his friends arrive, it feels abandoned. Not fully. There are still people, but parts of it are closed. Parts of it are quiet. Parts of it feel like they are waiting. They find the Tunnel of Love, a ride that is supposed to be silly. A slow boat, a dark tunnel, fake romance. The entrance looks harmless, but Annabeth's eyes are narrowed. She knows the gods. She knows their grudges. Hephaestus is the god of fire and forging, the god who builds traps, the god whose work is clever and cruel. Annabeth explains that Hephaestus is married to Aphrodite, and if Aphrodite has been with Ares, Hephaestus would not be happy. Ares does not care. Ares likes conflict, even in love. Percy and Annabeth enter the ride. Grover waits outside on watch, anxious. The boat slides into darkness. Water laps softly against the sides. The tunnel smells of damp stone. At first, it is almost peaceful. The boat drifts. The darkness hums. Then the trap activates. Metal rises. A net drops. The boat jerks. The air shifts. Percy and Annabeth are suddenly restrained. A mechanical snare holds them. Lights flare on. Spotlights, bright and humiliating. A camera emerges. A lens pointed at them. A voice booms from somewhere unseen. A loudspeaker. It announces that the show is about to go live. Broadcast to the gods. Percy realizes what Hephaestus is doing. He is not trying to kill them. He is trying to embarrass. He is trying to catch Aphrodite and Ares in the act. But instead, Percy and Annabeth are the ones trapped. They are the ones lit up. They are the ones who will be seen. Annabeth's face tightens with fury and fear. She hates being made a fool. She hates being used. Then the spiders come. They are mechanical, metal bodies, many legs. They pour out of hidden compartments. They click and skitter. They swarm. Annabeth freezes. Her breath catches. Her eyes go wide. Percy realizes something. Annabeth is terrified, not of monsters in general, of spiders. Percy does not question it. He does not mock it. He simply knows he has to move. He fights the restraints. He pushes Annabeth back toward the boat. He gets her inside. Water surges around them. Percy feels the familiar pull. The water is not just water. It is an ally. Percy calls on it without fully understanding how. The boat moves. It slides forward. It avoids the worst of the swarm. Percy uses water to knock spiders aside. He uses riptide when he must. Annabeth trembles, but stays with him. She keeps breathing. She keeps her eyes on Percy. Like Percy is an anchor. The ride ends in chaos. The boat shoots out. Metal groans. Percy and Annabeth leap. They land hard. They scramble. Grover runs toward them. Grover does not hesitate. He puts on the winged shoes. He lifts. For a moment, Grover truly flies. He grabs Percy. He grabs Annabeth. He hauls them up. They rise above the water park. Wind roars. The world drops away. Then the shoes jerk, like something tugging at Grover's ankles. Grover yelps. He loses height. He loses control. They fall, not far enough to kill them, but far enough to hurt. They crash into a patch of grass. They lie there, breathing hard. Grover is dazed. Annabeth's hands shake. Percy's heart pounds. When they finally sit up, Percy looks back at the water park. He feels anger, not just at the trap, at the idea of being watched, at the idea of the gods laughing. Percy vows something quietly. He will not be a toy. He will not be entertainment. They return to the diner. They bring Ares his shield. Ares is pleased. He takes it like it was nothing. Like Percy did not risk his life. Like Percy did not suffer for it. Then Ares keeps his promise. In his own way, Ares tells Percy that his mother is not dead. She is being held, a hostage, in a kind of metamorphosis. Percy's chest tightens. He thinks of the golden light. He thinks of the water spirit, saying not hopeless. Ares also gives Percy a backpack. He says it has supplies. Food, maybe what they need. Percy remembers the warning. Do not trust gifts, but they need the backpack. They need to travel. They take it. Ares points them toward a truck. A ride heading west. A ride with caged animals. A ride that will take them to Los Angeles, with a stop in Las Vegas. The choice is simple. Take the ride or lose time. They climb into the back of the truck. They sit among cages. They smell hay and animal musk. They hear soft breathing. The truck rumbles to life. The road begins again. As the miles pass, Grover speaks quietly. He tells Percy about his past. He tells him that he once had another demigod to protect, a girl named Thalia. daughter of Zeus. Grover's voice shakes. He says Thalia died. He says he failed. He says the two half-bloods Thalia was protecting were Annabeth and Luke. They survived. Thalia did not. Percy listens. He feels the weight of that story. He feels the way it fits into the camp. The way Thalia's tree stands as protection. The way the camp is built around memory. Annabeth adds her own story. She tells Percy she ran away when she was 7. She tells him she felt unwanted. She tells him the camp became her home. She admits she tried to reconcile with her family once. She tried to go back. It did not work, so she returned. The truck rolls on. Night falls. Percy sleeps against a cage. The animal inside shifts. Its breathing is steady. Percy dreams again. The pit, the voice, the promise, the threat. He sees his mother reaching out. He reaches back. His hand closes on air. He wakes with a start. The road is still there. The truck still moves. They stop in Las Vegas. Bright lights, a city that looks like it was built from neon. The truckers step out. They leave the kids alone with the animals. Percy watches the truckers. He sees the way they treat the animals. Rough, careless. Percy's anger rises. Not the kind that makes him reckless. The kind that makes him decide. When the moment comes, Percy opens cages. He frees the animals. He does it quickly. He does it quietly. The animals surge out. A zebra, a lion, an antelope, and others. They scatter into the bright city. Percy and his friends jump down. They run. They disappear into the crowd. They have no ride now, but they are free. And then they see it. The Lotus Hotel and Casino. It looks inviting. It looks safe. It looks like everything a tired traveler might want. Warm lights, music, a promise of comfort. They enter. The air inside is cool. The smell is sweet. The carpet is soft. A bellhop welcomes them, as if they are expected, as if it is normal for 3 kids to walk in alone. They are given a room key. They are told to enjoy themselves. Percy feels the pull of it, a wave of relaxation, a wave of forgetfulness, like someone smoothing a hand over his mind. They eat, they drink. The food is endless. The snacks appear. The drinks are cold. The chairs are soft. They play games, video games, arcade machines, things that blink and sing. Time becomes a warm blur. Percy meets people, kids, teenagers, adults. They talk about being here for years. They talk about coming for a vacation. They talk about decades like they are yesterday. Percy asks what year it is. Someone answers wrong. Someone says something that makes Percy's stomach drop. Percy begins to understand. This is the myth. The Lotus Eaters. The trap of forgetting. The trap of comfort. Percy looks at his friends. Annabeth is relaxed. Too relaxed. Grover is smiling. Too calm. Percy shakes them. He speaks sharply. He forces their attention. He drags them toward awareness. It is hard, like pulling someone out of a dream. Annabeth blinks. She frowns. She looks around. She realizes. Grover's smile fades. He looks confused, then frightened. They run. They push through the lobby. They burst out into the heat of Las Vegas. Outside, the city roars. Cars, music, people. Percy feels the weight of time slam back into his chest. He checks. He asks. He counts. They have lost days. The solstice deadline is almost here. It may even have passed. They have one day to reach the underworld, one day to get the bolt, one day to stop war. They do not have time to be careful, but they still have to survive. Section 8. Santa Monica, Poseidon's gift, and the stretcher in the waterbed store. They find a ride. A taxi. It smells like stale air freshener. The driver talks. The meter ticks. They head to Santa Monica. On the ride, Percy tries to talk about his dreams. He tries to describe the pit, the voice, the feeling that something is waiting. Annabeth brushes it off. She says it is just the underworld. She says Hades has the bolt. She says Percy is nervous. She says there is nothing else to fear. Percy wants to believe her. He wants to believe the world is that simple. When they reach Santa Monica, the ocean air hits Percy like memory. Salt, wind, waves. The beach stretches wide. The sky is pale. The water rolls in steady breaths. Percy walks to the edge. He takes off his shoes. He steps in. The cold water wraps around his ankles, then his calves, then his knees. Percy goes deeper. He lets the water rise to his waist. He lets it lift him. Then he dives. Underwater, the world becomes quiet. Sound muffles. Light softens. A figure appears. A woman made of seawater and light. A nereid. A spirit of the sea. She smiles gently. She speaks Percy's name. She tells him she was sent. She tells him his father watches. She tells him Percy has a hard heart, but a good one. She gives him 3 pearls. They gleam like drops of moon. She tells Percy what they do. Each pearl can carry one person out of the underworld. A safe return. A bubble of escape. She tells Percy to trust his heart on when to use them. She tells him something else. If something belongs to the sea, it will return. Percy thinks of his mother. He thinks of golden light. He thinks of hope. He asks the nereid about Sally. The nereid does not promise. She only repeats that not everything is lost. Then the nereid fades. The water becomes ordinary again. Percy rises. He returns to shore. He shows Annabeth and Grover the pearls. Annabeth's eyes widen. This is what she wanted. A way out. A way to return. They look toward Los Angeles. They must find the entrance. DOA Recording Studios. They move through the city. They watch for danger, and danger finds them. In an alley, a group of boys starts trouble. They crowd close. They shove. They laugh. Percy does not want to fight, but he knows he cannot afford delay. They run. They duck into a store. A waterbed store. Bright signs. Soft mattresses. A smell of plastic and fabric. A man greets them. He is friendly. Too friendly. He calls himself Krusty. He tells them to relax. He tells them to lie down. He tells them the beds are comfortable. Annabeth and Grover are tired. They almost do it. Percy notices something. The way Krusty watches. The way his smile never reaches his eyes. Then Krusty's trap springs. Ropes snap out. They bind Annabeth and Grover to the beds. They tighten. Krusty reveals himself. Procrustes, the stretcher, a figure from myth who traps travelers in beds. If they are too short, he stretches them. If they are too tall, he cuts them. Percy's stomach turns. The myth becomes real. Procrustes moves toward Percy. He thinks Percy will be easy. Percy keeps his voice calm. He pretends to be interested. He asks about the bed. He says he wants to see how it works. Procrustes is proud. He wants to show off. He lies down. He demonstrates. Percy moves. Fast. He triggers the ropes. He binds Procrustes instead. Procrustes struggles. Percy uses riptide. The danger ends. Percy frees Annabeth and Grover. They catch their breath. On a bulletin board, Percy sees a flyer. It advertises a place. DOA Recording Studios. With an address. They have what they need. Section 9. DOA Recording Studios. And the long walk through the underworld. Los Angeles is bright. Hot. Busy. A city of traffic and haze. They find the address. DOA Recording Studios. From the outside, it looks like an ordinary building. A place where music might be made. A place where people might come and go. But the air around it feels wrong. The temperature seems to dip. The light seems duller. They enter. Inside, the lobby is quiet. A desk, a security setup, a smell like old paper. They approach. They speak carefully. They use the right words. They show the right money. Drachmas, coins from ancient times, the currency of myth. A guard directs them. An elevator. The elevator doors close. The lights flicker. The floor numbers do not make sense. They descend and descend. The air grows colder. When the doors open, the world is different. A cavernous space, a river, a dark current, a line of figures waiting. Percy understands. This is the underworld. At the river stands Karen, the ferryman, dressed like someone who wants to be modern. He wears an expensive suit. He looks irritated. Karen asks for payment. Not just one coin. He wants many. He complains about wages. He complains about working conditions. Annabeth bargains. She speaks quickly. She uses all the drachmas they have. Karen takes them. He gestures. They do not ride in a boat. Not the old kind. Instead, they ride in a taxi. A vehicle that feels like a strange modern joke. Inside, ancient darkness. The taxi driver is dead. His eyes are hollow. He talks. He complains. He drives as if traffic laws do not apply. The ride is eerie and long. The world outside the windows is gray. Shapes move in the distance. There are shadows. There are ruins. They pass through the fields of asphodel, a place where souls wander. People drift. They look lost. They look like they have forgotten what they were. Percy sees faces, some familiar, some not. He wonders if he will ever end up here. They reach the gates. Cerberus waits. A massive dog, 3 heads, a creature built to guard. Grover trembles. Percy's hands sweat. Annabeth steps forward. She remembers the myths. She remembers that even monsters have simple needs. She offers Cerberus something. A red rubber ball. A toy. Cerberus's heads tilt. One head sniffs. Another head whines. Then, like any dog, Cerberus wants to play. Annabeth throws the ball. Cerberus bounds after it. The ground shakes. The gate is open. They slip through. They move quickly. They keep going. The palace of Hades looms. Dark stone, cold air, torches that burn with strange light. As they near it, Percy's backpack grows heavier. He notices it, the way you notice a weight shifting on your shoulders. A burden you did not pack. They stop to rest. They sit on rocks. They catch breath. Then the winged shoes Grover is wearing begin to move. At first it is a twitch. Then it is a pull. Grover yelps. He tries to grab the ground. The shoes lift him. They drag him. They pull him toward the pit Percy has seen in his dreams. Tartarus, the stormy abyss, the place below the underworld, a darkness that feels alive. Percy and Annabeth run. They chase Grover. They grab at him. They struggle. Grover manages to kick free. The shoes slip off. They fly away toward the pit. Grover collapses. Shaking, Percy stares. He remembers the warning. Do not trust gifts. Luke's shoes. Luke's gift. Percy's stomach drops. The prophecy turns like a key. They do not have time to solve it now. The palace waits. Hades waits. They enter. Hades appears. He is not like a devil from mortal stories. He is cold and regal. He looks tired of being underestimated. His eyes are dark. His voice is heavy. He accuses Percy. He says Percy stole Zeus's master bolt. He says Percy stole his helm of darkness. Percy denies it. He insists he is here to retrieve the bolt. He insists he does not have the helm. Hades does not care. He says the bolt is here. He says the helm is missing. He says war is coming. Hades threatens Percy. He threatens to release the dead. He threatens to bring his realm into the mortal world. Percy feels fear, but he also feels something else, a sense that Hades is not lying. Hades is angry, but his anger is different from Zeus's. It is the anger of someone ignored, someone blamed, someone always stuck below. Hades tells Percy to check his backpack. Percy's hands shake as he opens it. Inside, wrapped and humming with power, is Zeus's master bolt. Percy stares. His mind goes blank. He did not steal it. He did not pack it. And yet it is here. The bolt crackles faintly. It feels like a storm trapped in metal. Percy understands, with a sick lurch, that he has been used. Someone planted it. Someone arranged this. Hades laughs, not because it is funny, but because it confirms what he believed. Then Hades shows Percy something. A vision. Percy's mother, Sally, suspended in golden light, like a statue made of fire. Percy's chest tightens. His throat burns. He reaches out. He cannot touch. Hades offers a bargain. Return the bolt. Return the helm. And Sally will be freed. Percy looks at the pearls. He counts. 3. 3 pearls for 3 people. Percy, Annabeth, Grover. Not 4. Not enough. Percy realizes the choice. He can try to save his mother and doom the world. Or he can save his friends and stop war and lose his mother. Percy's heart breaks quietly. He thinks of Sally's face. He thinks of her telling him to run. He thinks of her believing in him. Percy makes his choice. He refuses Hades. He keeps the bolt. He tells Hades he will return it to Zeus. He tells Hades he will find the helm. Hades's anger rises. The palace trembles. The air tastes like stone dust. Percy does not stay. He grabs Annabeth's hand. He grabs Grover. He uses the pearls. Each pearl glows. Each one forms a bubble. The underworld vanishes. They burst out in the ocean. Cold water, salt, waves. They surface near Santa Monica. They gasp. They cling to each other. They swim. They pull themselves onto the beach. They lie on wet sand, breathing, alive. Percy's chest aches. He has the bolt. He does not have his mother. But he also knows one thing. Someone is behind this. Someone planned it. Section 10. The god of war on the beach. And the reason the bolt was in the bag. Ares is waiting. He stands on the beach like he owns it. Waves crash behind him. He looks pleased. Percy's anger flares. Percy confronts him. He demands answers. Ares admits part of it. He says he did not personally steal the bolt. Gods cannot steal each other's symbols of power. But he had someone else do it. Ares wanted war. A war among the gods. A war that would spill into the mortal world. A war that would feed his nature. Ares says the backpack was enchanted. Magic like riptide. Magic that hides. Magic that waits. The bolt did not appear until Percy entered the underworld. The perfect moment. The perfect accusation. Percy realizes how carefully it was arranged. How he was framed. Ares says now there is a problem. Percy still has the bolt. Percy could return it. That would ruin the plan. So Ares decides he must take it. Percy knows he cannot simply hand it over. If he does, Zeus's war will begin. If he does, his mother will remain trapped. If he does, Percy becomes the pawn who finishes the enemy's work. Percy challenges Ares. It is ridiculous. A 12-year-old boy challenging a god. But Percy does it anyway, because he cannot do nothing. Ares agrees. He likes a fight. He likes the idea of crushing Percy. They set the terms. If Percy wins, Ares will let him go. If Percy loses, Ares will take the bolt. The beach becomes their arena. Percy holds riptide. His hands are sweaty. His heart pounds. Ares draws his sword. It is huge. It hums with power. The fight begins. Ares attacks with confidence. Percy dodges. Percy feels every muscle in his body tighten. Percy cannot outmuscle a god, so he tries to outthink. He tries to survive. He backs toward the water. He keeps the waves close. Ares laughs. He taunts. He swings. The air cracks. Percy feels the sand under his feet. He feels the pull of the tide. He feels the sea like a steady drum. Ares lands blows. Percy is bruised. Percy is shaken. But Percy stays on his feet. Mortals gather. People notice. They see something. Not the full truth, but enough to make them stare. Some recognize Percy, the boy from the news. They shout. They point. Ares grows irritated. He pulls out a gun, a modern weapon in a mythic hand. He fires near the mortals. He scares them back. Percy uses the distraction. He calls the water. A wave rises. It surges. It slams into Ares. Ares stumbles. Surprised, Percy lunges. He strikes. Riptide finds the weak spot. Ares' heel. Ares roars, not in pain like a mortal, in rage, in disbelief. The ocean wind rises. The surf churns. Ares prepares to destroy Percy. Then something stops him. A force, a pressure, a command that does not come from Percy. Ares' expression changes. He lowers his weapon. His eyes narrow, as if he hears a voice. Not from the sky, from somewhere deeper. Ares steps back. He glares at Percy. He tells Percy he has made a new enemy. Then Ares disappears in a flash of light. Percy stands there trembling. He does not fully understand what stopped Ares, but he senses it was not mercy. It was something else, something that is moving behind the scenes. As Percy catches his breath, the Furies appear. Dark shapes, leather wings, eyes like coals. They demand the helm of darkness. Percy realizes it is in the backpack. He did not notice before, but now among the items, there is a dark object, a helm that seems to swallow light. Percy hands it over. The Furies take it. They acknowledge Percy did not steal it. They fly away to return it to Hades. Percy watches them vanish. He feels a small, grim satisfaction. At least Hades will not think Percy is lying. At least one piece will be returned. Now Percy has the bolt. He must return it to Zeus. Fast. They decide the fastest way to get back to New York is by plane. Percy is afraid. Zeus is the sky, the lord of lightning. Flying feels like stepping into his domain. But time is running out. They board the plane. The cabin hums. The seats are stiff. The air smells recycled. Percy grips the armrest. He watches clouds through the window. He expects lightning. He expects the plane to fall. It does not. They fly. They land. They are back in New York. Section 11. Olympus, the bolt returned. And the words that are not listened to. In Manhattan, the city is loud and alive. Traffic, crowds, heat rising from pavement. Percy feels strange walking among mortals again. He feels like he has been gone for months. It has only been days. They decide to split. Annabeth and Grover will return to Camp Half-Blood. They will tell Chiron everything. They will warn the camp. Percy will go to Olympus. He will return the bolt. He will speak to Zeus. He will speak to Poseidon. Annabeth does not want to let him go alone. But Percy insists. He feels it is his responsibility. They part with a quick hug, a shared look. Then they separate into the crowd. Percy heads for the Empire State Building. Mortals see it as a landmark, a place for tourists, a building with lines and tickets. But Percy knows there is more. He enters. He moves through the lobby. He finds the elevator bank. At a certain point, there is a sign. It looks ordinary, but Percy sees through the mist. He presses a button. The elevator rises, higher than it should. The numbers change. They reach a floor that should not exist. 600. The doors open. Percy steps into Olympus. The air is clean. The light is bright. The world feels sharp. Buildings rise like ancient temples. White stone, gold accents, columns, fountains. It is both Greece and something modern. A city of the gods perched above the mortal world. Percy walks carefully. He is aware of how small he is. He is aware of how powerless he could be. He is escorted. He is brought before Zeus. Zeus is enormous, not just physically. In presence, his eyes crackle with storms. His voice is thunder, held in control. Poseidon stands nearby, calm, powerful, eyes like the deep sea. Percy holds the master bolt. He offers it. Zeus takes it. The air seems to vibrate, like the world adjusts back into alignment. Percy speaks. He tells them what happened. He tells them about Ares. He tells them about the pit. He tells them he believes someone else is behind the theft. Someone ancient. Someone waiting. Zeus does not want to hear it. Zeus is proud. Zeus believes the world is solved because the bolt is returned. Zeus spares Percy, not out of affection, because Percy completed the quest. Poseidon looks at Percy. He speaks more softly. He tells Percy that he claims him, not just as a name in the sky, as a son. Poseidon also tells Percy something strange. Percy will have a decision to make when he returns home. A delivered package. A choice Percy does not understand. He only nods. When Percy leaves Olympus, he feels both relieved and disappointed. He returned the bolt. He prevented immediate war. But he also knows the larger danger is still there. And the gods did not listen. Section 12. Sally returned the package from Olympus and the statue that changes everything. Percy returns to the city. He goes home. When he opens the apartment door, the smell hits him, the familiar mix of city air and old furniture. Then he hears a voice. His mother. Sally stands there, alive, real, her eyes bright with relief. Percy rushes to her. He hugs her. He holds on. Sally tells him what happened. Hades got his helm back, and when he did, he let her go. Percy's chest loosens. For the first time in what feels like forever, he can breathe fully. Then Gabe appears. Smelly Gabe. He complains. He blames Percy. He blames Sally. He complains about the car. He complains about money. He says Percy is not welcome. Sally's face hardens. She stands up to him. Gabe raises his hand as if to hit her. Percy's anger flashes. Sally grabs Percy. She pulls him upstairs. She closes the bedroom door. Percy shakes, not from fear, from fury, from the memory of his mother disappearing, from the thought of losing her again. Then Percy notices a box, a package, delivered. He recognizes it. It is the package he sent. Medusa's head. It has come back. Like Poseidon said, something that belongs to the sea will return. Like Poseidon hinted about a decision. Percy looks at Sally. He explains. He tells her what it is. He tells her what it can do. Sally listens. Her expression is calm. Not frightened. Not shocked. Calm in a way that Percy has rarely seen. Sally says she has made her own decision. Later, Percy leaves for camp. He does not watch what Sally does. He only knows that she is strong. Stronger than Percy ever understood. Section 13. Back at camp, Half-Blood, celebration, and the betrayal in the woods. Camp Half-Blood welcomes Percy like a hero. The cabins look warm in the evening light. The air smells of pine. The dining pavilion glows with firelight. People clap. They cheer. They slap Percy on the back. Percy feels strange. He is glad to be alive. He is glad his mother is home. But he is tired. Annabeth finds him. She looks relieved. She looks proud. Grover finds him too. Grover looks like he has aged years. But he smiles. Chiron greets Percy. He listens to the full story. He becomes serious when Percy speaks of the pit. He becomes serious when Percy speaks of the shoes. Percy tells Chiron that the shoes tried to drag Grover toward Tartarus. Chiron's eyes narrow. Percy does not say Luke's name yet, but the thought is there. The summer is ending. Campers begin to prepare to leave. Some will stay year-round. Some will go home. Percy receives a letter from Sally. She tells him that Gabe has disappeared. She tells him she has sold a new statue. She tells him she received a commission. She tells him she has money now. She says she bought a new apartment. She says she enrolled at college. She says she found a private school for Percy. Percy reads the letter slowly. He understands what she did. He understands that she used the head. Percy feels a complicated mix. Relief, a sense of justice, a sense that Sally has taken control of her life. Percy also realizes he has a choice. Stay at camp year-round, or go home for the school year. Percy is leaning toward home. He wants to be with his mother. He wants to try. Before he can settle into that choice, Luke finds him. Luke asks Percy to walk with him into the woods, a quiet place away from the cabins. Percy feels wary, but Luke is Luke, friendly, familiar, a mentor. Percy goes. The woods are dim. Shadows stretch. Leaves whisper. Luke talks. He says Percy did well. He says the gods are fools. He says Percy proved the gods cannot control everything. Percy listens. His stomach tightens. Luke stops. He looks at Percy. His eyes are hard. Luke tells Percy the truth. Luke says he was the thief, not Ares. Luke says he stole Zeus's master bolt. Luke says he stole Hades' helm. Luke says he did it for Kronos, the Titan Lord, the one who ruled before the gods, the one who was cut apart and imprisoned, the one whose voice Percy heard in the pit. Luke says the gods are irresponsible. He says they do not care about their children. He says they deserve to fall. Luke says Kronos is rising. Luke says the Olympians will be overthrown. Luke offers Percy a choice. Join him. Join Kronos. Help bring a new order. Percy feels cold. The prophecy clicks into place. You shall be betrayed by one who calls you a friend. Percy refuses. Luke's expression darkens. Luke vanishes, not walking away, vanishing like a trick, like a god. In the silence, something drops from the branches. A scorpion, small, deadly. It strikes. Its stinger pierces Percy. Pain flares. Not just pain, a burning, a poison spreading. Percy stumbles. He swings riptide. He slices at the scorpion. He fights, but the poison is fast. Percy's limbs go heavy. His vision blurs. He tries to reach water. He tries to reach the creek. He thinks of the way water heals. He falls. Nymphs find him. Wood nymphs. They carry him. They move like wind through leaves. Chiron gives Percy nectar, the healing drink. It burns like fire going down. Then it steadies. pulls Percy back. Percy lies in bed again, like the beginning, but now the world makes sense in a terrifying way. When Percy is strong enough, he tells Annabeth. He tells Chiron. He tells them Luke betrayed him. He tells them Kronos is involved. Chiron listens. His face is grave. He says the war is not over. It has only begun. Percy is furious. He wants revenge. He wants to chase Luke. Chiron tells him there will be time. He tells Percy the best revenge is to survive, to grow, to be ready. Annabeth listens quietly. Her eyes are bright with anger, but she also looks sad. Luke was her friend too. Luke was her family at camp. Grover is granted another chance. The Council of Satyrs considers what happened. They see that Grover kept Percy alive. They see that Grover completed his duty. Grover is allowed to pursue his dream, to become a searcher, to look for Pan. Annabeth prepares to go home. She has made peace with the idea of trying again. Percy decides